Hello, welcome back to On the Road Adventure. You join us at home, in the garage, and that can only mean one thing. There's work to be done.
And sadly, the trip has finished. So we've done 5,000 miles. We're back home now. Today is the first day of some sort of sunshine since we've been back. So we've decided it's a good day to wash my bike and Rich's bike and change everything that needs changing and look after all the bolts that have been, loose and everything else.
If you look after a bike, it will look after you. I'm a firm believer in that. And the first place to start is giving it a really good clean. Get up close and personal for it. Look for any potential problems, anything that might have come loose, anything like that. Eva's bike, I know, needs new brake pads replacing.
Yeah.
And the chain is looking a bit worn as well. So we'll look at those jobs and see if we find anything else.
And we have a few new things when we came back home. And it's like sort of Christmas, isn't it?
So a nice company called XCP, I believe they're actually a Scottish company. They make motorcycle cleaning stuff and rust protection bits and pieces. And they sent us a selection of their products to try. So I'm going to do that now while we wash Eva's bike and we'll try it out. I don't know anything about it, I've not used it before, but let's see if it's any good.
We need to cut off my bags and they have been damaged. The fact that I've dropped my bike a few times with these bags didn't actually damage them apart from a scratch somewhere, which is quite small. But it was actually hanging too low and it was smoking on the exhaust or whatever that is. So we're gonna change them. And also they're quite good, but they discolored really, really quickly. So when I first got them, it was black. Now it's that sort of weird off black color. So I'm gonna change mine to Lomo, which Rich has, and they've been absolutely brilliant and good material.
These crash bar bags are excellent because we've got the crash bars here, but if you have a small drop and you have waterproofs and things in here, this really does protect the bike, and it's better to knacker some £40 bags than it is to get your plastics. So these have been cable tied and bodged a few times now because it's had to be repaired back to the crash bar on our travels.
Well, we did the job, but now it's time to retire. I think it's brilliant to have crash bags because you always have your things that you really need with you and you don't have to worry about packing the waterproofs each time you go for a ride. I don't know if it's just my bike, but I did find a lot of rust on all the bolts.
These bolts along the swinging arm take a lot of abuse. You can see all the mud and dirt and crap gets stuck up here. And yeah, if you don't put some sort of rust protection on these things, then they will end up in a crap state, which doesn't matter until you try to undo them and they turn to butter. Well, this is the cleaner that XCP have sent us. XCP Professional Cleaner and Degreaser, water-based, biodegradable, non-corrosive, suitable on paint, plastic coatings. So I'm assuming that's pH neutral. I haven't checked if I'm honest, but that'll be fine. Well, let's give it a go.
I'm looking forward to my bike looking like new, being all shiny now. Everything absolutely filthy.
So I'm just reading the bottle here. It says to use it as a degreaser, go on neat, but if you're going to use it to wash your bike as a cleaner, you need to dilute it 1 part to 10 parts water. So, okay.
Hey, luckily I had the bottle, didn't I?
Yeah.
Brand new, look.
Must be strong stuff, so I wouldn't advise just slapping that on the bike. So usually one of the first things I would do is do the chain. Always start with the dirtiest part of the bike first, but being that we're going to cut Eva's chain off to replace it, obviously I'm not going to bother cleaning. So I'm going to get straight on and wash the bike. Right then, well that's the bike, had a bit of a clean up, it looks a lot better now. And yeah, so the main reason I say the first thing you need to do is to go around the bike and clean it properly, because you're looking for any problems, you're looking for any potential loose spokes, loose bolts, anything like that that might cause you an issue. Luckily this time, other than the things that I already know about, Eva's brake pads and chain needs replacing, I haven't found anything else so far. So I'm back to the XCP cleaning stuff, and they've sent me, well there's two things here that do a similar job, both for corrosion protection. We've got the rust blocker clear coat, which says it displaces moisture, easy application and removal, and a non-sticky clear film. And this one is called the rust blocker, maximum protection, long lasting, easy application. For me, this one says a non-sticky clear film, so I'm going to go with this one. I haven't shown you guys exactly how I clean the bike and tips and tricks and things like that, because there's another video on the channel for that. This is what we do after a long tour.
How do you feel after using those products?
Yeah, so the cleaner was very good, cleaned the bike, did a nice job, made short work of some tar spots and stuff, I have to say. You know, time's going to tell with this rust prevention stuff, but for application, light dusting, wipe it off. What can I say? It looks nice on the bike, and yeah, it hasn't left any sticky marks so far. So ask me in the comments in a week or two, and I'll let you know what I think of it and how well the bike cleans up next time. So for now, we need to Eva can put her Lomo bags back on the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, now I need to get on and do the chain and brake pads. Our experience on our long tours has taught us that these hard cases aren't great, and actually when Eva's been knocked off and dropped it once or twice, the cases have not only got damaged the first time, but it also did damage to the plastics and stuff on the bike.
Yeah, they do.
So we'd like to get something like you know, the soft bags that run down the sides. Yeah, a soft bag solution really, that's what we need. I think it's going to protect the bike much better when it gets dropped.
And this is my new Lomo bag. Two actually.
So it's a pair of these for £40, and I believe they're about 6.5 litres each. They're universal jobs and they go on the crash bars really well.
I do think Backtech was slightly bigger, but
yeah, but you say that,
like
it was slightly bigger, but
those.
then it was touching on the exhaust seat, wasn't it?
That's true, yeah.
I think these are a better fit, to be honest. I've used these before, and if I was going to recommend some, well, clearly we bought the Lomos for both bikes.
And they don't lose the colour like mine did.
So this is the Lomo bag, and it's a universal product, as I said, which means usually a universal product means you've got to search the universe to find a part that fits. But actually, in my experience, these have been very good. So you just need to loosen off the straps on the front. You can see there's a pad here to stop any rubbing. And all you're going to do is attach using these straps. Work away around your crash bars, pull it all tight, pull it around and adjust it up. My top tip for fitting these is stuff them full with stuff first, so that when you pull it all tight, it's already pulled tight and it's adjusted as if you got stuff in it. Otherwise you're going to pull them on tight and then you won't be able to put any things in after, and you have to adjust it again. So as you can see, I've padded it out now. I'm just going to take the loose strap, run it through the crash bar, through the back of the bag, pull it tight, through the crash bar, through the side, and then adjust it up on the buckle on the front. Obviously this is going to be slightly different for every bike. I'm going to do another strap around the bottom bit. You'll have to make yours fit, but that's how it works.
It's always cable ties.
So yeah, to be fair, I usually run some black electrical tape around the top so it doesn't mark the crash bars, and then I'll run a big thick cable tie around that top loop, around there, and that will also help hold it and you know, support the weight of whatever you put in the bag.
This looks so much better. And you can see here that it doesn't touch anything hot on the bike, which is quite good. And that's the second one. Cable tie. You can hardly tell it's dead.
It's not actually doing anything right now, but if one of these was to fail, it can't fall off because it's attached to the loop on the bag. So it's just a belt and braces measure. Right, next up we need to take a look at Eva's chain. So we can see just from the movement in that, rocking that from side to side, 3 or 4 links apart, there's too much movement there. The chain's got about 17,000 miles on it. It's the original one, so it's time to replace it. So first job, take it off. Now this is not a how-to, nor do I recommend that you do this, but the chain's knackered anyway, and that is an easy way of getting the chain off. Yeah, this is all old chain lube. So next job is degreaser. Clean all this shit out, otherwise you're only going to get all this shit on your next chain. I'm going to undo this one, take the sprocket off. Eva's new chain and sprocket kit. So we've got a nice little can of lube there. These are great when you're touring, so I'll use what I've got later and we'll store that for the next trip. Nice chain brush for cleaning. That's a chain riveting tool, but that's crap, I've got a better one. Front sprocket. These are JT sprockets, standard sizes. And a nice new gold DID chain. Little tip, when I take the wheel off, I always remove things and I put them down in order that they came off, and then I reinstall the bits and the spacers back onto the axle. Now you can't lose any bits. This is why we loosened these earlier while it was on the bike, because this would be a nightmare with the wheel moving trying to undo these. Nice new sprocket. Right, before we reassemble this, we're going to have a look at Eva's rear brake pads. So again, this is not a how-to or instructional video. I am not a mechanic, and if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be messing with your brakes. That's my disclaimer.
I'm sure I'll be able to do them myself after watching you do it.
I'm not encouraging that. I was just a poor kid, and when I was young, if I didn't learn how to fix my own bike, I had no bike. Let's have a look at these pads then. Right, so that's Eva's old pads. They're not too bad, they're about 40%. And these are nice new ones from Honda. So as we can see, that is a lot thicker than what's left on there. You really don't want to run these down until you end up with metal on the disc, because you'll knack your disc as well. Good. I like the gold chains just because it looks better when you clean it every time and you can see you get all the dust and dirt and crap off.
It's very good, and it's a good quality as well.
Yeah, I always go with DID. I wouldn't go with any of the cheaper ones. So we're just having a look at Eva's front pads now. Okay, so you have a better look there. These are probably about 50% of the way through, something like that. So I don't think they're worth replacing yet. I'll check the other ones. But we can see inside the pistons, they're quite dirty. So I'm going to get some brake cleaner and I'm just going to clean these calipers up and then I'll put those back. But I think we'll keep these pads for now and yeah, we'll replace them when they're a bit more worn. Eva's come out to the garage. She lost interest some time ago. Come to see how I've been getting on, haven't you?
It took you literally all day. It's so much work, and that's only one bike, and you have to do yours, and there's some other jobs that we need to do on my bike as well. So
Eva's bike got a full service at Honda when we were in Poland, so that was only 1,500 miles ago or something like that, maybe a bit more. So she doesn't need an oil change. My bike does need an oil change. But on the subject of oil, when we were in getting the service done in Poland, they said that we've noticed before that Eva's bike seems to use more oil than mine. And we spoke to them about it, and apparently there's a common fault. And some of the oil gets back up into the breather.
The cap screws or something on top.
We're not entirely sure.
I don't really know. However, there is an ongoing campaign going throughout Poland and Europe, so the wait for the part is at least 2 months, and we didn't have that time to wait. So hopefully I can get that fixed in the UK. Yeah, so it's booked in at our local dealership. We're going to get it down there. They'll check it out. Also, another issue that Eva's had with her bike is the switch gear is intermittent, usually when it's been raining. Again, I think that's quite a common fault on these twins. I haven't experienced that on mine yet. So again, the local dealers will look that one up. My bike does need an oil change, and I need to rinse and repeat really. I need to go over mine, check brake pads and give it a nice good clean up. Mine does need the oil changing, and then we'll be ready to get back on the road hopefully. Yeah, quite soon. Well, I'm quite lucky that Rich looks after my bike, so I don't have to worry, but you have to look after your own bike, so please do, so you can be safe on your next trip. It's so important. I see people all the time, you know, with chains hanging off, usually youngsters to be fair, because they don't know how to do it or nobody's shown them. You know, and like I've stated, I'm not a mechanic. This is not how to. This is just what I do to look after our bikes after a long tour. So, any questions? By all means, drop them in the comments below. I'll do our best to help you. Thank you for watching, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. See you in the next one. Love you, bye. Love you, bye.